Hi, good afternoon to all of you. This is the time where we'll start preparing for the next year. So, in order to do that, we are launching our course of History Optional Foundation. But before launching that, we had thought about a lot of things. And one innovative thing which we were able to come up with it, we should try to give access to all of you, है ना, for a certain period of time. So that's why this course, which is going to begin from 15th of May, we are going to provide free access to all of you. Why are we doing this? I'm going to make you understand eventually about it. All right. So for 14 days, complete full access, and this is something which we are doing in the history of prepare for the first time. And let me tell you, why do we want to give you this access? Eventually there are lots of courses in the UPSC market, and very few of them are going to help you in preparing you for the final exam. So this whole purpose of giving you access is for two things. First, sorting out your life, try to see the perspective. Okay, whatever you wish to eventually join, you should have a complete idea about that, idea about how the classes should be, idea about the material, idea about the expectation which you can carry from that specific subject. And second, more importantly, because life is a very big concept, but civil service is a small subset of it, and we want that both your life should get sorted as well as at the same time you should perform very well in civil services. I am someone who was able to crack it twice, and I want all of you to eventually prepare in a certain manner which can give you maximum return. And this is why we are going to start with this initiative. But in order to make you understand, there are some famous tall leaders that we have in the history. Like one of them is Winston Churchill. He played a major role in the Second World War. And this is the quote: history is written by the victors. है ना, आज भी जो पूरा वर्ल्ड है, it is mostly ruled by the victors. And the same thing you should understand in the beginning itself. Even though learning is going to be important in civil services, but learning by itself is not of any use when it comes to the exam competition, the final success. It depends upon lots of things, and one of them is strategy. That strategic aspect is something which is going to be very important, and we'll discuss it. All right. Second, another important personality, right? President of USA, John F. Kennedy. So he also says that history is a relentless master. Relentless master means I prepared for 10 to 12 years, right? Every year I learned something new. I learned new methods which I need to impart to you, so that from the beginning itself you can have at least my level to begin with. And if you have that, let me tell you for sure, you're going to crack the civil services. So relentless master, and it has no present, only the past rushing into the future. So all those projections, I have become an institution in myself by developing a pedagogy for these number of years, by learning the important aspects of the civil services, and more importantly, history option for that, sure. Then comes from one of the most defining personality in the world history, Karl Marx, and he says history repeats itself, first as a tragedy and second as farce. Do you know that this was the topic of one of the essays of the UPSC itself? Yeah. So since they are following these important tall leaders, we should also do that. And all of these personalities are part of our history optional, something which helps you in understanding the life itself and in topping in the civil services also. All these aspects are going to be part of our course. Now, let me give you a brief review. Why history optional is the best optional right now. Let me tell you. In spite of the topper of 2021, rank 1 was from the history optional, was one of my student. Let us understand it with the help of more analysis from exam cycle itself. If we see prelims, roughly 20% of the questions are directly coming from history section, most difficult for a general studies student. So this is going to help you in clearing prelims with ease. I was able to do it 6 out of 6 times, and you can do it too, and this can become your X factor. Coming to mains, around 100 marks, it's directly coming in GS1. In GS2 also, the constitutional history, the background, international relation, linkages with world history, at least 50 marks are going to be affected in GS2 also. GS3 also, we have some topics, land reform, etc. UPSC asks a lot of questions from there. So at least 25 to 30 marks there also. Paper 4, we have influential thinkers. And in history, we're going to read about them. And along with that, even in your philosophical essays and even other categories of essay, you're going to get a lot of examples from history. So from this perspective, you can see how important it is even at the stage of mains. And in general, whenever you're discussing any topic, if you know the history of that topic, you're going to understand it better than others. So at the level of interview, personality test, where you have to eventually communicate in a very lucid manner, understanding current events, developing analytical skills, and finally enhancing cultural awareness, knowing more about India, enjoying the culture. All those aspects of life can also be done by just understanding history optional in a very critical manner. So because of these factors, I'm telling you that this is one of the best options that we have right now. And will it work? Lots of my students, they have been able to get ranked. I myself have taught with the maximum marks, 324 in 2018 CSC. And this has created a sense of responsibility for me also, that the right methods for getting the higher mark should be imparted to all of you. And if I can do it at the level of foundation itself, nothing like it. Because majority of us who scored very high, we had to go through so many stages because the right kind of guidance, etc., was not there at that point of time. All right, so that is going to happen. Now let me briefly discuss about the learning path, the learning curve, which we are going to have in this foundation course. First, we'll have the basic framework itself. Okay, the basic framework where the concept building classes. The first 14 days, we are going to focus only on this first aspect. Second, starting from roughly 5th of June, we are going to focus upon the map section, okay, which is very crucial. The area where maximum number of students find it difficult to get the marks. Third, we'll have the core building classes in which we'll discuss the PYQ of last 40 years. We'll discuss each and every point of the syllabus. Then number 4, we're going to have regular assessment. Every fortnightly, you're going to have a test and you have to perform very well in it. And finally, the continuous mentorship support from one part to the other till you get selected. That kind of honesty in work, giving you suggestions, that is going to carry on. The kind of guidance that you will require for even other subjects, I'm going to provide you that also. Time to time, you will require those, you can say, emotional moments when you need someone who can hear you out. So I will be the patient person at that point of time. So all those things are going to be part of our learning curve of our foundation. Okay. Then the component of the first stage which will start from 15th of May. Let me just briefly describe that. Framework creation, introduction to the basic concept, then we'll just give you some workbooks which you can eventually use for learning, and finally the mentorship calls from our institute, which are going to have broad understanding of what you're looking for. And we'll also come up with this resource kit, more than 35 type of document, okay, which are important for history optional, are going to be released by our institute. And for that you have to do only one thing, means you have to register on the link below, which is given in the Google Sheet. Then you're going to have a screening call from our institute so that we should know if you require it or not. And then eventually after that, you're going to get an access on our portal. Okay, so what you can do, if you are in offline, if you are in old Rajendra Nagar itself, so you can visit institute for the screening process and then you'll get the access. So both processes are there for online as well as offline. All right, for complete 14 days. And what do we want? Eventually all of us want to get selected. We want the highest marks, a sense of achievement in life, all those things. Like here I was able to score 168 plus 156, 324 marks in history optional, and able to get what I wanted. All right, so this is something which I wanted to discuss with you. All right, now let us start the journey. Let us start with holding fingers. Then eventually we'll see in the future what we can do together. So this is the first interaction that I'm going to have with all of you. Many of you would be just passing out from your colleges, काफी clarity भी कम रहती है उस time पे, and you're also like bamboozled by so much of the marketing and so much of the other things going on in the civil services market. All right, so at this point of time, if you are looking for right kind of guidance which can eventually get you the maximum mark with a fantastic rank, and that too within first or second attempt itself, then look no further. Okay, the batch is going to begin from 15th of May. It will be of roughly 5 months. All right, and these are our numbers. You can interact with us through Telegram also. You can interact with us through Instagram also. You can even call on these numbers to get in connection with us. All these things are directly available to you. So this is the right time to begin. And if we begin from now onwards, then we are going to eventually get very good things in a short span of time. And what makes a success sweet? That is minimum amount of struggle. ऑलराइट, दैट इज समथिंग यू शुड लुक फॉर. बहुत लंबी स्ट्रगल के बाद भी बहुत कुछ मिलता है तो कई बार फील भी नहीं आता कि क्या करना है. बट दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू, because many of the students, they give so many attempts but they are not able to succeed because the initial 6 months they were not well directed, and once it happens it eventually takes you to the wrong direction. And this is the time where let me provide you the right guidance and at the same time teach you all the important thing you require for the history optional. So thank you very much. You can just get associated with this through these various channels, and I'll see you in the classes.